Hey there, potential sperm donor. My name is Katie Hornberger, and I am the lead certified genetic counselor at Seattle Sperm Bank. Today, I'm going to swim through some of the next steps in your application process. The application at our sperm bank is designed to help you determine if being a donor is a good fit for you and help us determine if you meet our eligibility criteria. There are quite a few different requirements to become a sperm donor, but the focus of today's short video is on the family history assessment and the genetic testing that you will complete as part of your application. We want you to understand why these assessments are required, what the risks and benefits are associated with each, and the potential results. If you have any questions about this process, we encourage you to get directly in touch with the genetic counseling team. I'll include our email and phone number here. Let's start by discussing your personal and family medical history and how it will be used by our team. By this point in time, you've already completed a detailed family history assessment yourself online in our MySSB portal. During your upcoming family history assessment, a staff member will likely ask some follow-up questions about your personal or family medical history to make sure that we get it as accurate and complete as possible. This is going to include asking about ages of biologic relatives and specific health diagnoses and causes of death. The family history serves two main purposes. Firstly, it helps us determine your eligibility to donate. Seattle Sperm Bank utilizes guidelines from the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, as well as our own internal guidelines to determine eligibility. Secondly, your family history will be available to intended parents who are looking for a sperm donor, and they'll often look through the family history and have specific considerations. Perhaps if there's a condition that runs in their family, for example, cancer, maybe they'll be looking for a donor that doesn't have a strong family history of cancer. So this family history is very valuable to the intended parents who might use you as a sperm donor in the future. Donor-conceived children who result from sperm donation need an accurate medical history for both sides of their family. So it is very important we get that accurate medical history to the recipient parents so that they can provide it to their donor-conceived children and to their donor-conceived children's doctors. While gathering your personal and family medical history, the most important thing we ask of you is honesty. Every single medical history will have some health conditions. That is completely expected and normal. We also expect that there might be some gaps in your family history. Whether it's due to personal relationships, adoption, donor conception, family members who live abroad, or something else, we expect this. It's completely normal. We're looking for as much detail as you can provide, but when we come across a gap, we'll help you navigate through it and try to determine exactly what you do and don't know. After your family history is complete, a certified genetic counselor will review it and let you know whether you're eligible for our donation programs based on the guidelines we follow. If we can't accept you as a donor, we'll let you know why and let you know if there's any risks for you or for family members based on what came out in your family history. We want you to know that not every donor who's ineligible to donate has a very significant or serious medical diagnosis or reproductive risk. The guidelines can sometimes feel arbitrary, but we do need to follow them. If you are eligible to donate with us, we will continue to ask for medical updates throughout your time donating, including at your physical exams about every 6 months, as well as even after you've retired from donating. This helps us ensure that your family history is as accurate and up-to-date as possible, which is essential for intended parents, recipient parents, and for donor-conceived people themselves. You should also know it's possible we might contact you to let you know about a medical update or a new health diagnosis in a donor-conceived child. We want you to also have an updated medical history and be aware if there are any health conditions for which your own children might have an increased chance to develop. All right, let's move on to genetic testing. Genetic testing is performed using blood samples. During your initial medical screen, multiple tubes of blood will be drawn by one of our staff members. We'll send your blood to a handful of labs that can look for different genetic changes in your DNA. There are 3 different genetic tests we ask you to complete as part of your application. I'm going to spend a minute going through each one. We have the karyotype, carrier screening, and the adult disease panel. The karyotype analysis looks at the number and structure of chromosomes. A small portion of individuals have a structural change in their chromosomes that can affect their chances to conceive. The vast majority of our applicants have a completely normal karyotype, which shows 46 chromosomes and an X and a Y, which is consistent with somebody who is assigned male at birth. If your karyotype result is atypical, we would absolutely let you know. You may not be eligible to donate with us in that case, and there may be reproductive considerations for your own family building to be aware of. Let's move on to the second genetic test. That's carrier screening. The goal of carrier screening is to determine if a specific egg source in combination with a specific sperm source are at an increased chance to have a child with a number of genetic conditions. We currently use a carrier screening panel that can screen for over 500 recessive diseases. Intended parents who are looking for a sperm donor typically complete their own carrier screening and search for donors who are negative for any conditions they carry to reduce the chance of having a child affected with that condition. When we test for so many conditions, we find that the vast majority of people, over 90% of us, are a carrier of at least one thing. So it is normal for your carrier screening results to show that you're a carrier of one or two or maybe even five or more genetic conditions. Most carriers of recessive conditions are completely healthy and would have no idea that they are a carrier without doing this type of testing. But sometimes carriers can have an increased chance to develop specific symptoms related to the condition. We want you to know that even though this test is designed to help an individual or couple determine if there's an increased chance to have a child with a significant genetic condition, there is a chance that this test may inform you of health risks or reproductive risks. While the vast majority of our applicants with positive results are absolutely eligible to donate, it is possible that we may need to exclude an applicant based on their carrier screening result due to the associated health risks. All right, lastly, let's talk about our adult genetic disease panel. This is often also called a proactive panel. This test can detect genetic variants that cause an increased chance to develop hereditary cancers and cardiovascular disease. There are two main results we can see with this test: a positive or a negative. A positive result could indicate that there's an increased chance for you to develop one of these conditions in the future. Getting a positive result does not mean that you will definitely develop the condition, but it could convey a specific increased chance for that disease to occur. If that's the case, unfortunately, you will not be eligible to donate with us. And it's important to note that a positive result may have implications for the same disease risk for family members like siblings, your children, if you have any, parents, and beyond. A negative result would indicate that your disease risks for the conditions included on the panel are close to those of the general population. This does not eliminate the possibility of developing a genetic condition or a cancer or a cardiovascular disease in the future, but means that you were not detected to have any of the genetic variants we could screen for on this panel. As far as genetic testing goes, there are a few things that we think it's important you know. Genetic testing can take a while. We expect that the results of these tests will be returned to you within about 4 weeks from the time of your blood draw. We'll provide you with copies of each of your genetic test results, as well as genetic counseling to make sure you understand what these results mean for you and your family. We'll also let you know about your eligibility when we return the results to you. In the United States, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, also known as GINA, protects you against genetic discrimination in health insurance and employment. For more details, I suggest visiting genome.gov. There are exceptions to the protections GINA can provide, which include life insurance and disability insurance, which are not protected by GINA. This means that if you are found to be at an increased risk for a hereditary condition on the adult disease panel and later apply for life insurance, the life insurance company may request these results and take your genetic results into consideration and potentially deny coverage based upon them. Some people prefer to insure a life insurance policy prior to undergoing proactive adult disease genetic